Okay, this is part 3 of the 4-patch Sawtooth of our chaos quilt, our chaos block, where we've done the drawing. And so what we're going to do, we've done our diagram. And so what we're going to do is we're going to take our 2 triangles and we're going to take one of each, and then we're going to sew them together 1/4 inch. So that's going to be our next step. We're just going to sew each one of these. We're going to sew right sides together, sew over 1/4 inch, and then we'll go from there. Don't forget we're using our gray thread because that was the color we picked. Now you can draw your 1/4 inch on if you want. I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to kind of show you just one, and then the rest I'm just going to do off camera. And so we're just going to sew our 1/4 inch all the way down. Try to get your stitches as close as you can. Whoops. Pull that out. You do not have to pin this. I did pin mine just to kind of hold mine in place. I always lay my thread on top of my thread that comes out when I place my needle back to go back in to sew. So I'll take my needle and I'll lay it right on top of this thread right here. That kind of helps me. I mean, not all the time will it be straight, but it kind of helps me keep it straight. As straight as possible. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew all these together, and then once I get them all sewed together, then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, I do want to explain this. One thing I am going to do, I am going to open this up, and I'm going to push my seam to one side. I always try to go towards the darker side. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes it has to go the other way. But I'm just going, you can finger press it if you want. You can use an iron if you want. I'm just going to use this little wooden tool that just presses the seam. We push it to the side. We don't open it up. But anyway, this is hand sewn, so I don't want to open my seam up. So anyway, let's get these all sewed together. Okay, once we get them all sewed together, now we're going to do our rows. Get them how you want to lay them out. So I pretty much got them how I want to lay them out according to this. So we're going to take our first row. So I'll remove these. This will be our first top row. And I automatically want my gray, this gray, to be on top. That's what I'm going to go with. You can do it the other way if you want. It doesn't matter. That's what I'm going to go with. And so we're just going to put these together, and they're going to sew together right like this. So we'll take and we'll put our right sides together. We'll pin this, sew our 1/4 inch, and then we'll have these two together. And then you're just going to do this all the way down until you get your whole row. Okay, then we're going to press that open. You can kind of see I kind of have mine where this is coming down and that is going that way. I set mine that way for every other one. So now I'm going to take this one and I'm going to sew it to this one. Okay, then we're going to fold this one out. Use my little seam presser, and then we're going to take and we're going to put this one here. And then we'll have our first row complete after we sew that. And then we have our first row complete. So now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to take our next row, and we're going to do the same thing, sewing each one of these together. And then when we get these sewed together, we'll sew this and this together. Okay, once we get that row sewed together, we're going to take this row here, and we're going to bring it and flip it over, right sides together, making sure that we have it the right way when we do it. And then we're going to sandwich our seams together. So we want one seam to go one way and one seam to go the other way. And so I'm going to kind of make this go this way. And then we're going to, when we get that, we're going to pin it. Get it sandwiched together and pin it. And that just makes sure our seams line up. So you're going to do that all the way down. And I like to pin my ends first. I'll pin my ends first. I don't know why I do that. I just always have done that. And then it just kind of goes together better. Okay, so then we're going to press this open. Okay, and then we're going to get our next row together. And we're going to do the same thing. And we're just going to add it down here. So let's do it. So I'm going to come back when I get them all sewed together. Okay, when you get that all done, then you come up with this block right here. This is what the block looks like. I'm going to kind of turn this. Turned it just a little bit different so that way I could get it more in the camera. But anyway, this block is a 16.5 by 16.5. By the time you get done and you add it to a quilt, it'll be about a 16. It'll be a 16 by 16. So I hope this tutorial helped. I really am liking the looks of the blocks of the Chaos quilt. So stay tuned for the third block.